So what do you do? Don't do it anymore. We're going to do it for you. And we take all, you don't have to pay the Azure SQL, you don't have to pay drivers or workers or whatever. Forget about it. Let Databricks do it. Databricks is really good at it. So we're going to have something called Serverless, which is OGA in most of the regions in Azure. And higher user productivity, because you just need to say, run this job for me. It's batch, interactive, and DLT or not. And you don't have to manage anything and have a lot lower costs because you don't pay for these VM on startup. I have some large customers who spend lots of time splitting hairs, right? You're charging me the VM, I just started, but I haven't run my job yet, and I still run my job, you're still charging that VM, all that going away. So then the question I got asked all the time, now is this a data plane now in Databricks tenant? I don't know why this question was asked so many times. Something wrong with our document, I think. No, it's in Microsoft tenant, the same as the control plane, everything is in Microsoft tenant. The data is in your ADLS, and the compute is in Microsoft tenant. We pre-provision a pool for you, so you don't have to worry about it. So that's what serverless is. Everything else is the same. Think about if you're okay with using Azure SQL, if your company compliance guy, whoever that is okay with Azure SQL, you should be okay with serverless. And all the compliance, everything comes with it on Azure.
Yeah, and just a couple other points. I mean, basically, when you're in the classic architecture, you're paying for it, right? If you want a really responsive warehouse, you might oversize it so people can do very fast Power BI, and when it's not being used, you're paying for idle. In serverless, Azure Databricks pays for idle. When you type a SQL command, we bind existing compute to that in less than 10 seconds. And you're only paying for when that's being executed. It's fundamentally different. We pay for the idle. And furthermore, machines pick the machines. You don't pick the machines. Machines pick machines better than you any day of the week. You might get it right when you start your job or when you're running your test, but the data will drift, the pipeline will change, things will change, the demand curve will change. Machines pick machines better than you. But also, we pay for idle, so if we get it wrong, we eat the cost.
Yes. And also, we have an algorithm to auto-rotate down these queues, right? So your favorite is DS, whatever DS, because you wanted the disk, plastics, memory, everything, right? But it could run out. USS2 happens a lot. And we're just going to rotate down to older version of SKUs without you knowing it. So this way your job might run slower, but won't die, right? Especially for a batch job. You don't want to wake up in the morning, your job died because you run out of VMs. So this way we're auto-rotating it. Yeah, you have the same experience? Yes, good. We're happy with it. That's good. That's how we survive the holidays. We're just rotating down whatever the old VMs are there, we're happy to take it. And so you don't have to manage the infrastructure anymore. There's a lot of upside. I don't see any downside. Just go for it. All right, so because it's on Azure, we integrated with everything Azure. If we're not integrated with Azure security infrastructure standard, we can't release. So it's enabled a fine-grained permission and AAD-based user authentication end-to-end for all your collaborations, access logical and physical objects, and across your workspace and between your organization. So basic AAD auth, there's no backdoor, there's no standard auth like SQL. I remember I used to own SQL, and we have this called standard auth, and people seems cannot get rid of it. It took almost 10 years to get rid of it, right? People always do standard auth. In Azure Databricks, there's no such backdoor. Everything is AAD user. AAD user, also we support federation. I know lots of the large enterprise federated with AAD, right? So anything, everything, AAD, no backdoors. So all of these are supported by conditional access, and also there's IP access list. Apparently this is one of those favorite features everybody's asking. All right, and all of the echoes are fine-grained, go all the way to your objects, to your tables, to whatever you come up with, to ML models. And this is not at like a high level, right? This is literally to your individual object level. Unity catalog also support row level and column levels
I'm David Meyer, Senior Vice President of Product Management at Databricks, and I'm here to talk to you about our collaboration with Microsoft to bring Azure Confidential Computing to Azure Databricks. With support for Azure Confidential Computing, customers can build an end-to-end data platform on the Databricks Lakehouse with increased confidentiality and privacy by protecting data in use with AMD-based Azure Confidential VMs. Databricks has always supported protecting data with capabilities such as encryption in transit and at rest with customer-managed keys. But with Azure Confidential Computing, Databricks takes data protection to the next level by protecting data while it's in use, that is, while it's being processed on your Azure Databricks clusters. Let me explain why this matters and why you should consider using this new capability. First, privacy and security are top concerns for you and for any organization working with sensitive and regulated data on public clouds. Azure Confidential Computing protects data in memory in hardware-based, trusted execution environments. Further, it processes data only after the cloud environment is verified, helping prevent unauthorized data access. But security is just one piece of the puzzle. Performance is also critical. AMD-based confidential VMs enable this strong data protection with full VM encryption while minimizing the performance impact. By harnessing the power of AMD's EPYC processors, these VMs provide the horsepower needed to handle even the most demanding workloads. Now, you might be wondering, why would I choose AMD-based Azure Confidential VMs specifically for Azure Databricks? There's just so much synergy between these technologies. Azure Databricks can handle your largest big data and AI workloads. In fact, we launch over 10 million machines a day on Azure for our customers doing this. You need to derive value from all of your data sets, including those that are security and privacy sensitive. This infrastructure supports robust data protection and confidentiality, a key requirement. Azure Confidential VMs based on AMD processors are purpose-built to meet these requirements, offering a balance of security. How do we get back up?
Okay, now I'm going to move on before you start.
Put this one together.
It's on YouTube.
More to YouTube.
Oh, it's on YouTube. So now we can talk about integration with the entire stack, right? With the Azure Data AI stack, especially with Fabric. So Azure Databricks and Fabric is part of a synergy of customer choices, right? Customer want the choices. Customer want to buy of the same thing so they can pick, right? You go buy a car, you don't want to stack with just Toyota or just a Jeep Cherokee. You want your choices. Even they all have four wheels and then you can get it somewhere. And so there's lots of similar functionalities, but they're different, and the preference depends on your environment. That's why it's important to have both Fabric and Databricks. So step back a little bit. Cloud analytics is so familiar to you, right? And you have your data sources, you have your apps, and you have data. And we all tried for years and years. Hopefully all your data get to the same place. It's never going to happen. So, but you do want to access your data from the same place. And these are typical workload access. You have data integration, data engineering, data science, AI, what have you, and warehouse, real time, and your BI stack, right? So we're advanced. We agreed on something between Databricks and Microsoft. We all like Delta. We want to double it. So at least now has same format, because not like SQL get the format. I remember I'm guarding my spec for SQL log, like with my life, right? Now it's open format, everybody using Delta Lake, and so we can talk on the same terms at least. And then we build this governance stack, right? There's Purview, there's One Security, the Unity catalog, and Delta Uniform also is open format, right? So now you can actually read Iceberg and Moody as native Delta Lake format. So if I move forward a little bit, and the Databricks Data Intelligence Platform, you want to talk about this?
Yeah, let me just give it a few words. So when we talk about a lakehouse, when we're in the Azure Databricks frame, the two layers at the bottom are both very important. One is getting all of the data in a common format, such as Delta, which supports now Iceberg and Moody. And the reason is, for a lakehouse is open, simple, and multi-cloud by nature. But it's simple because you don't have to move the data. Up until 4 years ago, you'd have to take your data from a lake and stuff it into a warehouse, a separate system, in order to serve analytics to like Power BI. But now Power BI can do just as well performance, latency, concurrency, etc., going straight to the data sitting in ADLS. Because of this delta structure, it gives it the performance, the transaction log, the abilities of a warehouse without having to move it. That's why a Lakehouse is okay. Right. But just as important is the governance layer on top, which is Databricks' Unity Catalog. So every persona, if you're writing SQL or you're writing Scala, you're getting the same data back based on who you are, and you're getting different data back than me, because everything's going through the Unity Catalog. Okay, and because of that, the system can get smarter because it starts to understand all the data in your organization. It has a lineage. Every time a table is created from the table, that lineage is there. All of these things start to evolve the semantic business understanding because everything's going through the Unity Catalog. Row level, column level filters, you define them once in SQL. They're true when you're using Scala, when you're using machine learning model on top of it. So that layer is also very important. And then all of these different tool sets, streaming data, SQL dashboards, machine learning models are all going through the Unity Catalog. And you know, Lindsay talked about how the serverless spins stuff up fast, the SQL has text to SQL. The only reason all of that works is that the semantics have emerged based on usage of the Unity Catalog. When I title a dashboard, you know, top Azure Databricks customers, and I'm joining it with these arcane tables in our data sets, Unity Catalog knows that that term connects with those tables and those columns, especially if this dashboard's used a lot in my work. So it all kind of builds in the Unity Catalog. When you go into search at the top, and you search for top Azure customers, boom, that comes right out because the semantics were captured in the Unity Catalog. So it lets everybody find the data and access the data naturally. So that governance layer is actually the key to AI.
Yes, you jumped ahead, but that's okay.
I jumped ahead. That's the Lakehouse. That's the data intelligence platform.
Yeah, because data like script.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we actually bring in the AI. We already talked about it. The whole point about AI is make your job easier and make the platform run easier. So that's what the data intelligence engine is. In Databricks, truly infuse advanced AI, Gen AI in every single stack, every single component in Azure Databricks and in Databricks everywhere. So, of course, you need catalog.
Yeah, look at that, semantics.
That's when you're like one way jump ahead. So
Oh yeah.
Semantics and in the Delta Lake and optimize I/O access. And with Databricks SQL, you see the demo actually after recording, and you can talk to the machine, you talk to Databricks, convert to SQL, and optimize the workflow, can optimize your jobs based on the cost. Based on the cost. And with a Delta Live table, can automate your quality from your pipeline, and of course, relabel the Databricks AI to Mosaic AI, not Mosaic ML. I'm sorry, not Mosaic.
Yeah.
Mosaic AI is Databricks AI, not a company. Mosaic ML.
So can I just, because you know me, so half of you use Databricks, or more than half, and some of you were messaging, I've never even used Databricks at all, I don't have an Azure subscription. So to kind of give you a sense of what's key here is we talked about the files in the lake. The simplicity of a lakehouse is you don't have to move your files to a warehouse. The best warehouse is a lakehouse, unless you're talking about OLTP use cases. Okay, the best warehouse is a lakehouse. Cost, simplicity, governance, etc. But the real interesting things are above the files. When I create a materialized view is joining things in a lot of different files into kind of a more simplified. They're logical objects. So all the logical objects you use, dashboards, materialized views, streaming tables, ML models, they're not in the files easily secured in something like file level security, which is why you need this governance layer on top. that's unified. So that's key. And then it does all the things she said. She's moved on, so I'm sitting down.
So you already did all the search stuff. So I'm going to skip this because you talked about all of those already. So basically, you vector search and auto-detect tables, commenting on your tables, coming up all the demos, and you will see them all through Unity Catalog. And if you're sharing models and the Databricks Assistant, you do need Unity Catalog to actually continue. Make sense? All right. So now we're going to integrate with Fabric. As David said, if you disconnected the files, you didn't miss a lot. So in order to actually connect to the high value capabilities in Databricks, you need to integrate with Unity Catalog. So there's two simple use cases. Alice is in Databricks and want to share the data and all the object he created with his coworker in Fabric. And so we actually created a Fabric Azure Databricks data items. So this was in the demo this morning, the keynote. So now you can actually seamlessly connecting to Databricks and from Fabric through the Unity Catalog. So everything in that catalog can be, not everything, but all the tables with permission going to be visible to all your coworkers in Fabric. Hope this works.
The sneak peek of how we're directly integrating Databricks catalogs into Fabric to make it even easier to unify Databricks data with one link. Here we are in Azure Databricks, and one of the catalogs we have here is for customer support with a schema for support cases. It has 3 tables for calls, cases, and customers. Let's see how we can integrate this data into one link. If I switch over to Fabric and navigate to the data engineering workload, I can see the option to create a new Databricks catalog item. If I select it, I'm given the option to select my Azure Databricks workspace, and from here I can configure the new Databricks catalog item in Fabric with just a couple of clicks. Once I'm connected to the workspace, I can add a full catalog, a schema, or even individual tables. I can navigate through the catalogs to the schema we were looking at earlier in Azure Databricks, and I can select the data I want. And just like that, we've set up a shortcut so all the tables in the schema now appear in Fabric. We can use this data just like other data in one link. So I can write SQL queries or use it with any other workloads in Fabric, including Power BI indirectly. Best of all, the data is always the same. When tables are added, removed, or renamed in Databricks, or when the data is modified in Databricks tables, these changes will instantly show up in Fabric. Let's go back to Databricks and see this in action. For example, I'll add a new customer record. Now if I switch back to Fabric, I'll see that automatically my changes are showing up in one link as we see here. This new integration makes it simple to unify Databricks data in one link and seamlessly use it across every Fabric workload.
Yeah, and all this table and the data update visible in Fabric for all the workloads.
So let's pause there. That was we showed that, Amir showed that this morning in the keynote. Are there any questions? And you should have a question. I'll repeat it. So probably. So the question is, if you don't have any previous investment in Azure Databricks, how does it fit into Fabric? Okay. So it's really when you double click on the details. For example, in a lot of the cases where you're doing AI at scale on enterprise data and you need all that closed loop governance, people will want to use Azure Databricks for that, and it ties in these integration patterns directly with your data in one link. But you might choose to just use the full lifecycle of stuff in Fabric, because it is a unified platform, right? You can use Fabric as it is, but there's some unique capabilities in Azure Databricks, particularly like governance, scale, and AI. Those are kind of governance, scale, and AI are a lot of the deeper use cases that are in GA now can be used with Azure Databricks. We're happy to talk about how that's integrated. So the question is, are you planning to make more features in Azure Databricks available in Fabric in the future? So think about it, it's all part of Azure Lakehouse, right? So they work well together. If not making them available in Fabric, it's the assets you're creating in Azure Databricks seamlessly can be leveraged in Fabric. But you can use all of the Azure Databricks. Maybe you might have been the gentleman who said you didn't have an Azure subscription, but that's like one mouse click, like to get that. So don't view them as when will this be available over here? They work in symbiosis today.
Right, it's its own data item. It's not in Lakehouse, it's not in Data Warehouse, it's a separate data item.
It's a Databricks.
It's a Databricks, yeah. It's a Databricks workload in Fabric. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's because I think if you search through enough the Fabric fundamental sessions, right, you realize it's a platform. You can add any other artifacts.
Yeah. So let's demystify that a bit. So why didn't we just make it a Lakehouse, right? Because Lakehouses exist. It has similar. It's used similar to a Lakehouse.
But missing lots of stuff.
And you can in the leveraging the integration of your showed, you can do within a Lakehouse, you can put a little shortcut there, right? And that'll go to Unity Catalog and get all the access tokens and it'll be governed the same way. But what you don't get is like, once you create this data item that's a Databricks data item, when you add a new table over here, it automatically appears here. It's more of like, here's a whole system from Databricks that I'm managing over here, and I want to auto appear. Yeah.
You can see it just as any other object. Like, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Because you can,
three levels.
yeah, you can see it.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
because also you create currently the shortcut from Lakehouse, it does not actually manage the manage table, can access manage table. Only the external tables, right? It doesn't actually get access token. And if you want the real integration with Unity Catalog, you need to go through this setup with the data item, Databricks data item. No, we're in the early preview, but we're working very hard to make it available. Yeah. Ping me if you need it.
We can't publicly stand one.
You need to hurry up. Yeah,
Let me privately
yeah.
Is it too early to start asking questions about purview, Unity catalog, integration?
No.
No, it's not. I actually have slides. I hate it because Crossing make me hide it. But please ask away. Yeah.
Yeah, so they work together today. And some features that are in preview. Like for example,
Bunch of GA actually.
yeah, a bunch of GA.
Yeah.
Like I think the lineage in Unity Catalog showing up in purview, I think is GA. I forget which one GA.
That's GA, that's just not GA.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
And then
the
things
self-service
like-
is
yeah.
not. Self-service is in policy pushdown is in preview. And but if you can be whitelisted, you just need to ping us.
Okay, so you won't be able to do policy push down or purview to Unity catalog?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's in preview right now. That's what you need to be whitelisted, but the code been done for quite a long time.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Good. And then as far, and then the semantic, the semantic layer, you try to be able to suss out the semantic patterns. Is that something that can be exposed back to purview?
The metadata?
Yeah, so, yeah.
Understand the metadata.
So it's all basically metadata on the tables that's available to the APIs.
Okay, instead of scanning, is it like a, I got it.
All right, we can follow up.
Yeah, if you want to do it, just scan the metadata through APIs, that's all there already. Specifically.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. The thing that Amir showed will work initially if you have full table access. And why is that? It's because at the file levels, that's where you can set permissions. So if you have a row level, column level setting in Unity Catalog, of course you can direct publish to Power BI and stuff, but you won't be able to have that show up in OneLake until the corresponding APIs are available and that governance can be replicated. Does that make sense? So row level, column level will for now not work as a Databricks item in OneLake.
One question.
One more.
Yeah, you can do that in parallel, separate. Yeah, it's your option.
Yeah, so when there's something in OneLake, you can use Power BI, Direct Lake, to fetch it up to a certain data size that will work, and then it'll fall back to Direct Query. So a lot of it depends on the data sizes you're using, whether or not you're doing fine-grained permissions and things like that. You can also go directly from Databricks through the SQL endpoints to Power BI. So we can just talk to you about the pros and cons of different approaches, but they both work. You're the last now. He was the last.
Power BI slides. Can we, if Power BI can wait?
Was it? So the Databricks items, okay, it gets a token from Unity Catalog for security, and it directly passes that down to ADLS to fetch it through things like Direct Lake.
Yeah, because ADOS have this user assigned scope down access token. That's what that is. We inherit from this. Yes, because we got token from Unity.
Yeah, we can whiteboard later.
Yeah, tell you very specifics.
All right,
Okay,
now the other
we
direction.
move on. This is the other direction. And so now RAM won't actually access the data in OneLake. That was your demo in the morning, and we go through Lakehouse federation soon enough, we'll have fabric to fabric, right? So from the same one place, even your data is not the same place, but there's one view of it. I'm going to rush this, get to the demo so you can talk to it. There we go.
Okay, so you saw this morning, maybe some of you weren't there, but I started out in Fabric, and you see these tables in Fabric, right, in OneLake, and then I go into Unity Catalog and mount that Lakehouse in OneLake as a catalog in Unity Catalog, and then all of the features on top of Unity Catalog seamlessly work. And in the demo, I also combine that with federated BigQuery, federated Snowflake, all available today in Unity Catalog. The Fabric one, again, is available in the preview soon, and we can talk about the dates in person. But the basic thing is then all the AI features and everything else is unlocked, including directly publishing the aggregate stuff into Power BI. And I'm not going to go click by click by click, but some of these, just pause here, pause on that, yeah, pause there. Okay. So like the really nice thing, when people start using Unity Catalog, they get really excited by the kind of simple stuff inside. Like I see who's using my data downstream, what's being created, but this lineage and what's happening is what's driving kind of the importance graph that powers the semantics of Unity Catalog. So if there's a table, so I make some of the most popular dashboards inside our company, Databricks. People look at them every morning, like 4,000 employees look at them every morning. So the tables I'm using for those dashboards, Unity Catalog knows are important. So it auto-completes your SQL with those tables because it's figured that out through the lineage. So this is very powerful, even though it looks like a pretty UI, but this is evidence of a lot of power.
To inside of your data.
Yeah. And this data room, by the way, everything I showed in the demo, I just did it on Saturday, and it was all live. I mean, it was all real. But these Genie data rooms are so freaking fun. By the way,
Can we fast forward to Genie data room?
well, no, the AI descriptions of your tables. So if you have a lot of tables in your organization, you probably have descriptions on 1% of them. Raise your hand if you have descriptions on more than 1% of your tables.
Nobody can read the table name, right?
Yeah, and so now, of tables coming into Unity Catalog, 90% have descriptions, because AI is suggesting descriptions, and people are saying, okay. Question?
Do you need to generate AI descriptions for the AI system to be more performant, or does it matter?
You know, it doesn't really matter, because it's inherently doing the same thing. Yeah. But it's very useful for the universal search and things like that. Because when people are looking for things, they'll use some of the words in the description. When we do the Genie room, what we do is we ask Unity Catalog for all the metadata on the table, okay? And we use that basically, we submit that to ChatGPT 4 Turbo and OpenAI. But then that's doing the, if I say show me the money, it can find revenue, right? Because it can translate those kind of things. But when you're doing search, our search index can't really do that because it's not an LLM. So that's where, except it's really helpful for discovery use cases.
There's more questions over there.
Yeah. Yeah. So the question was, if I bring the OneLake stuff into Azure Databricks and auto-generate all these descriptions, will that be visible in the purview? Absolutely, if you're reading the metadata on the catalog. Okay, great question. The question was, can someone drop a table accidentally from Databricks? And this is really important when you're integrating systems. And because of this, all of these federation pathways are read-only. Okay, so you really have to avoid multi-writer scenarios in things like a Delta Lake, a Lakehouse, because of the, transaction logs and commitment protocols and things like that. But long story short, no, that's not a risk. Questions in the back, you have to really.
When you're using OpenAI to generate the tables or the descriptions, if you have your own Azure OpenAI instance in your tenant, can you use that, or do you have to?
Okay, that's a great question. So it's like, which models do we use? If you have your own OpenAI subscription, do we use that in the internal stuff? So there's a lot of there's so many layers to this question, but no. So first of all, the tables that we describe now, when we first rolled those out, we used Azure OpenAI. But using a very large model on an A100 or H100 to describe columns is kind of dumb for us to have made that choice. So we had 2 engineers write a micro model over the period of 2 weeks. It's much less expensive to run than OpenAI for that. So that's a little micro model using the Mosaic AI framework and MLflow and stuff running inside. But for the GD data rooms, we use OpenAI because it needs the power of GPT-4 Turbo for that kind of thing. We use our subscription for a variety of reasons. You can configure it to use yours, but that's when you were building your own AI products. That can piggyback on your subscription with all of your settings. To when you're building a RAG model on top of Azure OpenAI, you can use your own. But for the intrinsic things inside our product, we use our subscription. But we'll share with you all the enterprise settings and very safety, compliance, privacy, all those things.
And also, don't you have a session tomorrow on the OpenAI?
There's an awesome session tomorrow at 9 a.m. on a lot of AI stuff, so I'm not going to answer any more AI questions. Sorry about that.
So there's a Power BI integration. So there's a new Power BI integration. There's another question? AI question for tomorrow?
Okay.
Later is okay. So the Power BI, normally when you're actually publishing, actually goes through this Power BI desktop to have very nice model to be published. Now with Fabric Power BI, I allow you to publish through the semantic model authoring tool you see in the keynote, right? So now from Azure Databricks, you can publish through. You don't have to go through the desktop anymore. And you can publish entire schema and you can update it. And through the Databricks AWS, and also support AD, Azure AD directory to publish to Power BI. And if you want, we do support long-running queries with Power BI, with Azure Databricks. Remember those AD tokens expired in the middle of your running your report, the dice, and they should not happen. So this is very important. I'm going to skip the demo. One last thing I want to touch base before we go to Sunday's fancy demo is the Databricks activities in Azure Databricks, in Azure Data Factory, now is all in Fabric Data Factory. I think based on the data flow, is all there in consolidated support policy IP as well, and support Unity catalog. And we're updating Azure Databricks job ID
Yeah, let me kind of demystify that. So if you're using these data factory, data pipeline kind of things, say to ingest a ton of data into the cloud, you can land it if you want to directly in Azure Databricks. So there's activities in this tooling to land it directly in Unity Catalog and Azure Databricks or something. That was always added over the last month.
Thanks, David. And with that, I want to share this better together slide, and our both marketing loves, so I'm going to present this. Basically, give you your choice.
I can tell I get tired because I start mumbling.
Your best tooling and your favorite tooling for your platform to integrate with your environment. With that, I'm going to hand over to Sanjay for his dream demo to see everything together end to end with his favorite company, Contoso.
Thank you so much. Our favorite talk is here. So I just have a question for all of you before we start. So first of all, my name is Sanjay. I'm the Director of Global Analytics Enablement, Microsoft, and my team also created Dream Demos. Have any of you heard about Dream Demos yet? All right, so today you'll see it in action. And you know, I just have one question for you. How many of you love Databricks? Yes, great. How many of you love Power BI? And how many of you believe in enjoying every moment in life? That's the question, right? Because the next 15 minutes we have together, folks, how about we generate some energy, create some awesome energy, and show some excitement, and you'll see some awesome demos. So are you ready? I need more energy than that. Are you ready to interact with me? And to keep it fun for you, we have some awesome prizes, flying monkeys, I have some vacuum cleaners for the phones, and super cool stuff. Okay? Rahman, my technical architect, is with me. We're going to show some energy, excitement, and we'll share the goodies with you. Are you ready? Let's do this. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a story. The story is about a retailer. How many of you love shopping? It's a shopping demo. That's how easy it is, okay? It's about a company called Contoso. So they have hundreds of brick-and-mortar stores all over the world, yes? And they have an online store. And of course, you know, they have the motto is be unique, feel good, do good for others. You can see on the screen. They have a new CEO. Her name is April, and she's new to the organization. Let's see what's happening. I'm going to go fast and furious. I have a lot to show you today. And of course, you want to see live demo, right? Not videos. Yeah, so live demo is a screen demo, but that's what the fun of life is all about. Let's do this. So April is right here. You can see on the screen, top of the screen. Be unique, feel good, do good for others. And she's new to the organization. You know, everybody cares, and she's very happy, first of all. There's so many stores all over the world, and of course, everybody cares about these KPIs, right? Who doesn't? The revenue, right? The churn rate, the bounce rate for the website, operating profit, and what is market saying? Market sentiment and customer experience. You with me so far? Simple 6 things, you know. And she has a dream. And of course, the headquarters of Miami South Beach, that's where she is right now, dreaming of a moment. January 2023, COVID was just over. A dashboard like this one, and you can see data from the past, structured, unstructured, semi-structured data, decision for the present moment. That's okay, boring stuff, everyone does it for. Even more exciting, there's a present moment, decision for the next moment, real-time analytics, and then be more exciting, based on present, decision for the future. Are you with me? Past to present, the next moment, and this one. The 5 KPIs she cares for are all going bad or good? What do you think? Not so well right now. You can see that all are brown right now. Revenue is not good, churn rate is not good, bounce rate is high. She's going to change this whole thing around, and she talks to her amazing team. Rupesh, Chief Data Officer. They have this Ava, data engineer, Serena, Miguel, data scientist. You can see all these folks, and she's there going to turn the whole thing around. How many of you have seen a picture like this? Where data is everywhere. How do you bring all this together, right? How do you bring this all together? So welcome to the world of Microsoft Fabric and Azure Databricks together. So what I'm showcasing for you, the Contoso, the company, they have data all over the place. Sales, marketing, finance, data integration, data movement. And of course, they were acquiring a company liveware. And they have their own data. The good part is that at Contoso, many folks are already using Azure Databricks. So they already had some data in the Gen 2 already processed by Databricks. The liveware company they were acquiring, but only using Databricks. And then 100 billion plus rows of data also they acquired here. So welcome to now this architecture already shown by Lindsay to you. We are better together. So here is what's happening in the actual demo. You'll see in action now. You'll see data coming in from sales data coming from Azure SQL DB going into one lake through all these methods. You see all this customer insights data, your Snowflake data, IoT sensor data coming in real time, operational extensions that are from Amazon S3 shortcutted, and this is the best part of the whole demo. I have Databricks data processed with all the DLT pipelines here, from customer churn data and also the campaigns data from Contoso, and the company we are acquiring customer churn and sales data from Litwell. Already processed native instantly. So of course, you can get simple shortcuts into one link, but what I'm going to showcase for you today is something that David also loves, Unity Catalog demo. For the first time in the demo, it's really the first time. If I make any mistakes, David will correct me, right? Okay. So folks, look, Unity Catalog right here, and of course we'll do the model training and serving through Databricks. Alright, ready? And there's a connection between that and of course one link, and then who loves Power BI here? And who loves fast and furious Power BI with direct clipboard? That's what I'm going to show you today, right? That's the demo. Alright, let's do this. So folks, the next thing is, I'm going to show this thing you have seen before, okay? In Microsoft Fabric, you can create very easily this Lakehouses without, very easy. You can get data from all kinds of sources, of course, no code experience, code first experience, that's easy. But of course, this is SQL data. Now I'm talking about Databricks. So Contoso was using Databricks, and they had all kinds of data for customer churn, the bounce rates. By the way, the demo that I'm showcasing, would you like to have a GitHub repo of it? Yes? So part of the demo that I'm going to show you will share the GitHub repo with you, and other part will share later once it's ready. Alright, so there's one part of the demo. In fact, the first part I'm showcasing, GitHub repo is there for you, already available, right? Cool. So there's real truth behind this. In fact, we worked with Kyle here from Databricks to create the demo together. Yes? Alright, cool. So we'll look at this, folks. They were using DLT pipelines. So they had this campaigns data, and of course what people are saying on Twitter about that, right? How could we bring all this together with DLT pipelines? And now we have this DLT pipelines, and of course customer churn model using data science, all experiments through all, and they were able to find out people who are churning and why are they churning, whatnot. Okay, cool. So with that, what happens next is the amazing, the first step of the whole thing is shortcut. So this all data, the company they're acquiring, everything else, they give it a shortcut to the Indian agent to, and obviously you have this data grabbed into our fabric. Now once data is in fabric, you have, what do you have there? One link. And what is that fast mode of Power BI called? Can you raise your hand? Rana, come on, some flying of these are right here. This is that. So look, directly code. Right now we have shortcuts happening, and now I'm going to show you this cool part of that. Alright, let's do this Unity Catalog. So folks, this is a cool scenario I'm going to showcase for you. So what I'm showcasing for you right now here is the scenario. First of all, Databricks right there. In Databricks, you see this Unity Catalog. And of course, right here, you will see some of the tables we have already, added customer churn data, document data, and customer churn. And of course, in the Unity Catalog, you can always look at any of the tables, and you've got a phone call as well. And of course, there is sample data permissions, the lineage. You can see lineage, right? Where data is coming from in Unity Catalog and where it's going. Now that you have all this information, how could we add AI on top of it? Let's take a look. So remember my scenario. You are acquiring this company called Litwell. Now the engineers at Contoso want to know about Litwell. They don't know anything about it. What if we could actually have AI tell those engineers at Contoso what's going on? Again, they will ask you the same question. How many of you actually fill all the descriptions of every column, everything? Only one person knows, right? So guess what? What if we were to simply ask AI to generate all this data for you? That's right there, very, very easy. And then once you have these tables, columns, all described, this description that just happened is based on the lineage. Where data is coming from, where data is going, the AI can understand and give you something. You can always override that as humans. Now you have this Unity Catalog. You can actually have semantic search on top of that. Find information about customers who have churned with table as query. It finds the tables where this information is located, and we can click on it. And look at this, folks. On the right hand side, the table is here. How many of you love writing SQL code? SQL queries are awesome, they're fun, right? But guess what? You don't even have to. You can simply ask a question. You write a SQL query, generate all this good stuff. The SQL code gets generated, folks, on the right hand side, and you can execute a query, and of course, answer comes back. Come on, get a round of applause for that. And not only that, I'm going to generate an error over there. Let's just group by something which does not make sense. And I will run the query. Oh my goodness, there's a red error over here. Let's see what am I going to do? Well, simply ask AI. Diagnose the error and look at this, folks. The query is going to be solved. And going away from Contoso. They acquired this company, Litware, where planners love Litware, right? So there were a lot of negative sentiment about Contoso. I'm focusing for you all the news articles that they had, PDF files, all kinds of unstructured data, right there. They're saying Contoso Millennial meltdown. Look at that. We got all this bad news. And then after acquisition, some good news. Millennials have it. All these PDF documents and unstructured data. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to copy all of those right now and upload all this right here into my Unity catalog. Data is moved right there, folks. And guess what we're going to do now? Can you guess what I'm going to do now? So now that I have all this PDF data, PDF files get converted into Delta tables. And from Delta tables, the raw data you see here, obviously I have these embeddings. You see vector embeddings on the right side, vector embeddings column gets stated right there. And on top of vector embeddings, you get vector indexes. Right? So you have all this data, unstructured data, vector indexes get created, right there, vector search indexes get created. And now what we're going to do is, we're going to use our new, of course, as we are getting index, we're using this embedding model called Azure OpenAI in a continuous synchronization mode. So now that we have all this data processed, everything is there. Look at this. We have this indexes created. Now guess what we're going to do? We're going to create an endpoint from the model. Right? Data is there. How do you consume that in a web application? So now there is endpoint right there, available. And of course, save this model. I'm going to fast forward. I know I have to show you a lot more. But let's take a look, folks. Look at this. You can actually monitor what's happening in terms of when people are using this, what is the request rate, what is latency, and of course the query endpoint responsible AI kicks in. If something is, not what is the meaning of life? AI says, no, I don't know what you're talking about. So there's some controls for this. Questions, And of course, everything that all the queries that are sent to the model, if you would, by users, all tracked by grade by you. So you can see what is happening, how can you improve further. So first of all, are you with me? You want to see the final result of that, right? Right here. Alright. So the question, why did we do all this? There are all those PDF files, So now you can ask simple questions. Can you provide a market segment score of Contoso from 3 months ago to the results for it? It's a live demo I'm showcasing, not a video, folks. That's why it's time. You can see 3 months ago, our segment score was 30%. All those PDF files we simply uploaded. You can ask questions about it. No need to build a database model, nothing like that. And I'm going to go back. What is the current market condition, market sentiment for Contoso now? So 30% now it rises to obviously how much? 80%. Look at that, So you got the idea, right? So all this data is all searchable, very easy, right? Nothing to do with all the structure, all the stuff you have to do. Now, do you want me to create a quick? I know we're out of time. Can I have 5 more minutes? Would you be able to stay 5 more minutes with me? Yes? Okay, let me show you. So this is the Copilot demo. So we got all the data. You already know we have a connection with Power BI. Yes, you already know, right? We already have connection with Power Databricks. You've seen that. I'm going to show you a live Copilot demo. You want to see it? Yeah. Alright. Because Unity catalog is a one lake and a fast connection, of course, directly code. And look at this, folks. I'm simply going to go to the model right there and go to ask Copilot to do this live in front of you right now and just pray that everything works right. So because what's in my data set? What's in my data set? See, AI just tells what's your data set. That's easy. I'm going to ask a different question. I'm going to ask you to create a Power BI report against all the data processed by Databricks live. And yes, please do fill surveys. Folks, if you are leaving right now, please fill surveys. Surveys are very, very important to us. And because now take a look. What we're doing is I'm asking Copilot, create a bounce rate accuracy report. Come on, folks. Round of applause. That was incredible. But the other thing is when he was chatting with that model, people would get different answers if they had different permissions in Unity catalog. Yes. How about that? Now, and then of course we can go further with this one. Why is the website bounce rate busy? What can we do to improve it? You don't miss this part. Ready? I'm going to ask this question. It's going to go after the whole thing and going to tell me suggestions how to improve as well. So it's going to do that, good stuff here, and hopefully it's a live demo. So let me see. Look at that, folks. It even tells me.
We need more GPUs, that's why it's slow.
But it's like this. But you got the idea, folks. Tells you what to do, how to improve it as well. And now with that, I'm going to go back to the hopefully you like this demo so far. So I'm going to just simply have to show this one because team worked whole weekend on this one report. So I have to show this to you. Just hang in there, Gary. So this report, David, is a very special one. This report hopefully will show up here. This report is the one churn report, but the one I will show you is this one. So this report is actually going after billions of rows of data, 1.3 billion rows of data covering several tables right now. And I'm going to run this query live in front of you with direct lake mode magic. Come on, round of applause. This is live report. This is billions of data.
That's amazing.
And the last 30 seconds for you. I'm going to just recap the last 30 seconds of the video, folks. So look, I had a story for you, didn't I? I had a story for you where, essentially what was happening is I got this data, right? I had all this data from different places, right? We got all this through one lake Photon with our Unity catalog and then fast code, and they were able to actually get all this data all in one place, all department reports in one place, and guess what? Our CEO, can you remember her name? Oh my God, April, oh yes, so April, this is December 10th, folks, December 10th, she's on stage, and the journey was from January 10th, she's on stage, she's showcasing the green dashboard, folks, take a look at that, green KPIs, right, bounce rate is decreased, churn rate is decreased, and she got a big round of applause, and guess what, this was December 10th, December 31st, now fast forward, you know what happens that day, can you guess? The fireworks, alright, so give a round of applause for yourself.